Maneva na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
It's unconscionable. I mean, President Akufo-Addo has literally bastardized and abused his power of appointment when it comes to the judiciary. And he's done it with a political spin and twist that is most unfortunate. Listen, NDC lawyers who qualify to be judges are Ghanaian. And the criteria for being a judge, either in the High Court, Court of Appeal, or Supreme Court, is stated in the Constitution. And so if these Ghanaians qualify, irrespective of their political affiliation, nothing should bar them from appointment if they are so qualified. However, we should not have a situation where our Supreme Court is being packed and being overrun. Listen, when Parliament has a lot of work before we rise, we don't ask the creation of new constituencies for new MPs to come in so that we do the work. We sit on, Parliament normally sits on Tuesday to Friday. When we have those situations, we sit on Monday, we sit on Saturday, we didn't sit on Sunday. You commit yourself to ensure that the job is done. When there's work to be done, I've been in the Flagstaff House at times under President Mahama, where he was in the office till past midnight because the work had to be done. He didn't ask that they should appoint new ministers or appoint a second vice president or appoint another president. He sat there, sat down, earned his salary, and did the job. If the Chief Justice thinks that the judges on the Supreme Court today, who sit only from Tuesday to Thursday, they don't sit on Monday and Friday, cannot work on Monday and Friday and sit their backsides down and do the job we pay them a salary for and provide them all the perks. The Supreme Court, people shout about MPs getting Land Cruisers. They get Land Cruisers and saloon cars. In addition, they get two. They get two cars. MPs don't get their cars fueled for them. They get their cars fueled for them. They get drivers. They get accommodation. We give them all of that luxury so that they can sit down and write judgments and sit down and work. You don't tell us that the work we've given to you, the work is too, if it's too much, resign. If the Chief Justice thinks that she is incapable of doing the job we pay her a salary for, if the job is too much for her, what did General Nunu Mensah say? If the kitchen is too hot for you, leave. If the Chief Justice cannot do the job that we pay her a salary to do, and she thinks she needs more justice, she should honorably resign. There will be somebody fit to do that job, grateful for the salary and perks that we give them, and they will do the job. The Supreme Court should start sitting on Monday. They should start sitting on Friday. They should stop throwing cases throwing cases all over the places. The United States Supreme Court sits on cases from over 300 million people. How many people are on the US Supreme Court? 7 or 9 judges. Yet they are able to do the job. The US Supreme Court, 9 judges. They are able to do and sit and adjudicate on cases from 300 million Americans. Cases from all the 50 states of the US come to the Supreme Court. They handle it. 16 of them. They say they can't handle cases from 33 million. From 16 regions. They should resign. I mean, that admission by the Chief Justice should even form the basis for her resignation. It means she's not fit for the job. It means she doesn't have the capacity to handle the caseload. If an MP, if a minister, someone look, let's be serious in this country. If a minister were to wake up one day and say that there are too many memos in my ministry, so Mr. President, I want more deputy ministers, how would the media bash take that from the minister? Or if the Speaker of Parliament said the workload in Parliament was too much, so he needed 50 more MPs, how would that sound to you? Or the President said that the workload, so he needed more ministers and more presidents. We needed to have 2 presidents. I mean, would that sound, how would the country take it? Look, the Chief Justice must not take us for a fool. And she must not take the benevolence of the Ghanaian people for granted. The Ghanaian people break their backs. Kaya years work non-stop. Monday to Monday. They don't have a break. They work almost 24 hours, sleep in harsh conditions, and pay taxes that is used to buy the air-conditioned car and air-condition her office as Chief Justice. She cannot be telling the poor Ghanaian whose taxes pay her and provide the luxury for she and the other judges of the Supreme Court that they cannot do their work. If they can't do their work, they should resign. Other people will come there and do the job that we pay them a salary for. Okay. We must demand quality and excellence from persons who earn a salary of the taxes of the Ghanaian people who are suffering. And I think that it is the Chief Justice owes the taxpayers of Ghana an apology for that suggestion. Now to your substantive question of whether President Mahama will appoint or not. The power of appointment rests with him. I don't expect President Mahama to flood the courts the way President Akufo-Addo has flooded the courts, both at the Supreme Court level, and the appellate level, and even at the High Court level. But I believe that if there is any person who is qualified, and with age requirements, people are going to phase out. I mean, people will age, people will reach retirement age, people will have to go. We need to scale down the numbers. I believe that we must have a cap on our Supreme Court. I don't see why we should have more than maximum 11 or 13 judges on the Supreme Court.
So right now there are 16 Supreme Court judges.
And you see,
if the NDC should win the election come December 7, is President Mahama going to make more appointments or any appointments to the Supreme Court?
The power of appointments rests with him. He'll take that decision.
But if you are saying 16 is too much for...
But the 16 of them are not going to be there for life.
Yeah, but...
They're not going to be there for life. So
definitely.
If, as and when there's a need for us people to retire, we'll look at the numbers. So, and if retirements or exits from the Supreme Court drop the number to somewhere around 7 or 8, given the exigencies of time or whatever may occasion that, I think that we shouldn't go beyond 11 or 13. And I think that we should find a way of amending the Constitution and putting it in there so that never again do we have a president act so irresponsibly as the current president has done to flood the Supreme Court. So
we shouldn't expect any appointment to the Supreme Court if Mahama becomes president anytime soon. I haven't said unless there is some resignation.
I haven't said so. I've only said that for
but
me,
if the numbers are too much,
if the exigencies, when the exigencies are right and opportunity arises and the numbers reduce, if they reduce, we should never get to a place where we are beyond 11 or 13. And you see, the contradiction in Chief Justice, her leadership, Justice Torkorno's own letter, is she writes to the president saying, appoint 5 people, in addition to the 16 that are there. Yet she says that, and then cap it at 20. Why, sir? In the judiciary, do they have a new mathematics time? Is there a new way of doing maths in the judiciary where 16 plus 5 is equals to 20? Because they are 16. She says appoint 5 more, but let the cap be 20. So even her own list of appointments goes beyond the cap of 20 that she suggested. I mean, let's get tidy. When we are paid with the taxpayers' money, let's be diligent in the work that we do.
All right. There's still a lot of areas that we can touch on, but we will get into that subsequently if there's time. But right now, I want us to talk about the NPP because.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.